Good morning. Today we are going to analyze one problem question on in the subject criminal law, touching the subtopics murder, attempted murder, loss of control, diminished responsibility, transfer malice, and causation. The video content has been made available for informational and educational purpose only. Kindly go through this slide completely. Let's move on to the problem question. Stephen suffers from bipolar disorder. His wife, Jane, has taunted him about his condition throughout their 5 years marriage. One evening, during an argument, she tells him that he is a raving lunatic who needs to be locked up. The next morning, Stephen puts a week's supply of his medication into the teapot and offers a cup to Jane. He has no idea what the effect of mixing the tea with the medication will be, but he hopes that it will kill her. The tea has no immediate effect on Jane. Disappointed Stephen leaves the room. A few minutes later, Stephen's son, Tommy, comes down for breakfast and helps himself to a cup of tea from the same teapot. A few hours later, Tommy suffers an extremely bad reaction to the medication in the tea and dies. Jane suffers no ill effects other than a bad headache. Medical evidence shows that a dose administered would normally be insufficient to kill. Discuss any criminal liability arising and do not discuss any offences which may have been committed under Section 23 or the Section 24 of the Offences Against the Person Act 1861. First, we will take the topic of murder, the death of Tommy. The actus reus of the murder is the unlawful killing of a human being under the Queen's peace. Tommy's death fulfilled this element. The mens rea for the murder, as established in R versus Cunningham case in 1982, is a malice aforethought, either express, that is, intent to kill, or implied, that is, intent to cause a grievous bodily harm. Stephen's action indicates an express intention to kill Jane, which can be transferred to Tommy under the doctrine of transferred malice, as per the case R versus Latimer in 1886. The fact that Stephen's intended victim was Jane does not negate his liability for Tommy's death. Causation must also be established. The factual causation using the but-for test from R versus White in the 1910 case is satisfied, as Tommy would not have died but for drinking the tea. A legal causation requires Stephen's act to be substantial and the operative cause of the death, as per the R versus Smith case in 1959. Although the medical evidences suggest that dosage was insufficient to kill under normal circumstances, Tommy's reaction makes the outcome foreseeable. Thus, causation is likely intact. Next topic is attempted murder of Jane. The attempted murder occurs the accesses of an act that is more than merely preparatory to the commission of murder and the mens rea of intending to kill. Under the Section 1 of the Criminal Attempts Act 1981, a Stephen act of spiking the tea with medication satisfies the actus reus as it demonstrates a clear step towards committing murder, as per R versus Gulliver case in 1919. The mens rea is present as Stephen admitted, hoping the Jane would die, meeting the intention requirement for attempted murder as established in R versus Vibro in 1951 case. Although Jane did not suffer significant harm. The absence of the intended outcome does not absolve Stephen of liability for attempted murder. Diminished responsibility. Stephen may seek to rely on the partial defenses of diminished responsibility under Section 2(1) of the Homicide Act 1957 as amended by Coroners and Justice Act 2009. This defense requires evidence of an abnormality of mental functioning arising from the recognized medical condition that substantially impaired his ability to understand the nature of his conduct, form a rational judgment, or exercise self control. Stephen's bipolar disorder could qualify as a recognized condition as seen in R versus Sears case in 1984. However, it must be proven that the condition was a significant factor in Stephen's action. The sustained nature of the planning, such as putting the medication into the teapot, might weaken the argument that his judgment was substantially impaired. Loss of control. Loss of control under the Section 54 and 55 of the Coroners and Justice Act 2009 could be another potential defense. For this defense to apply, Stephen must demonstrate that he lost the control due to the qualifying trigger and that a person of ordinary tolerance and the self-restraint might have reacted similarly. Jane's thoughts about Stephen's mental health condition would constitute a qualifying trigger under the Section 55(4) if they amounted to an extremely grave character and gave him a justifiable sense of being seriously wronged. However, the time lapse between the argument and the act may undermine the immediacy required for the defense, as in R versus Davis case in 2007. Transfer malice. The doctrine of transfer malice applies here as Stephen's intention to harm Jane transfers to Tommy's death. The principle articulated in R versus Lackman case in 1886 ensures a liability where the mens rea for one victim transferred to an unintended victim. The case of R versus Michel in 1983 case further supports this doctrine in situation where the defendant's action unintentionally harm another party. To conclude, Stephen is likely liable for the murder of the Tommy due to the doctrine of transfer malice with both factual and legal causation established. He is also liable for the attempted murder of Jane as his actions and intended fulfill the requirements under the Criminal Attempts Act 1981. The possible defenses, such as diminished responsibility and the loss of control, may be raised but are unlikely to be succeeded due to the planning involved and the lack of immediacy in the triggering event. Thank you.